Hey, you guys, my name is Chuck Harden out of Atlanta, Georgia. Been a part of MWR for a little over 2.5 years now. Now, before MWR, I was in corporate America, had created a lot of success for me and my family, even had some success in home-based business, but just got to a point where I was realizing if I was going to maintain that, I was going to have to work till I die, right? So when I got with MWR, what they really showed me was an opportunity to be more cash efficient, to be able to keep more of the money I was making into my household. They were able to help me become more tax efficient. They were able to help me get my credit score from a 750 all the way up to an 823, right? They also helped me save money just on my every monthly bills. Like, for example, my cable bill, they got me an additional $48 a month back. They got me an additional $20 a month on my cell phone bill because they were making the phone calls that I didn't have time to make. They were sending the letters that I did not have time to do. I was already busy. Right. And then I was also able to get with the wealth experts to help me come up with a retirement plan, because even though I had some things in place, some IRAs in place, some 401ks in place, it wasn't enough for me able to retire and maintain the lifestyle I've already built. So just work with the experts that would help me to do that. And on top of all of that, because I just share this information with people, because I'm open to share my testimony, I've been able to create an additional stream of income of earning over $200 a day, just by simply sharing this information with people. So if you're looking at MWR as a way to help you become better financially, let me let you know it's 100% that. Because anyone looking at this video don't know where you are in the world. You might be in different parts of the state, different parts of the countries, different occupations, different goals, and different dreams. We all have one very common objective. At the end of the day, we all want to be successful financially. And if that's you, you need some experts to help you put that in place. That's what MWR provides for you. That's what they bring to the table. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are again, a Thursday night with MWR Financial Live. Listen, it's an honor to be here. I'm excited to be a part of this platform with you all. We've got a few seconds before we launch, but as we're doing that, once we get started, please let me know where you're chiming in from. Where did you log in from? What state? What city? Let's get this rolling and get on and off here. My name is Gerald W. Parker. I'm excited to be here with you tonight. We've got a lot of ground to cover. Listen, grab a pencil and paper. You're going to want to take some notes on this. With this minute or so we've got left, send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. You want to get your guests, you want to get your prospects, even your customers on this platform tonight, because I call this the night of clarity. We're going to be able to fully understand how we operate moving forward. So it's going to be an exciting night. Again, grab a pencil and paper. We got Mr. Banks. All right, good to have you, sir. Pen and pad in hand. North Carolina, Dale Purnell. Way to go. Way to go. Good to have you here. Kurt Wheeler, Garner, North Carolina. North Carolina is represented tonight. Who else is out there? Cleveland, Ohio. Miss Terry Reed. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the platform. Who else is out there? Phoenix, Arizona. Miss Gibbs. Got something for you. Anna, welcome to the platform. All right, guys. Who else we have there? Dallas, Texas. Audrey, welcome to the platform. Guys, let's get a couple more. We won't be before you long tonight. We're going to cover a lot in a very quick short period of time, actually. So, Benita out of Gary, Indiana. Give me one or two more. Columbus, Missouri. Okay, welcome to the platform. Helpful Heroes. Who else is out there, guys? Give me one more. All right, Tucson, Arizona. Monique, welcome to the platform. There he is, Mr. Benjamin McCrae, Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's go. Guys, here we go. Once again, this is our Thursday night platform. We're replacing our MWR Financial Edge University tonight for a special platform and presentation that's going to be provided for you by the CEO and the president, both. Now, when these guys are on the platform, you know something good is happening. So there's a lot of information to cover tonight. So let's get right down to it. We've got some housekeeping issues to review before we get started. I want to announce our May testimonial winners. You just saw her name go across the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, that's none other than Miss Lynn Gibbs. Miss Lynn Gibbs is our May testimonial winner. She gets a free month of an MWR Financial Edge membership. Miss Gibbs, congratulations to you. And guys, how do you get a chance to be a testimonial winner? Submit your testimony to the MWR Financial Testimonial page, and your name could be the next one drawn for this month, actually. All right, another housekeeping issue. We'll move forward with this presentation tonight. The Spanish translation of tonight's live will be heard by dialing in, or can be heard by dialing into this number, 319-527-2529. I'll repeat that. The Spanish translation for tonight's live can be heard by dialing into 319-527-2529. Now you can watch the visual on Facebook or YouTube via the link texted to you by MWR Corporate, which you should have received at some point today. Now, tonight, subject, basically the good, the bad, and the ugly of credit restoration. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have it broken down for us tonight in detail. How MWR Financial's credit restoration comply with the Credit Repair Organizations Act, and what separates MWR Financial Credit Restoration from the rest, as well as the do's and don'ts associated with marketing this platform, and who can participate and how the process works, plus more. So again, grab that pen and paper. So without further ado, let me bring to the platform our first speaker for tonight. This gentleman, he's ignited a flame that has caused a movement that has taken this country by storm. None other than the CEO and founder of MWR Financial, Mr. Brian House.
Hey, Gerald.
Welcome to the platform, my friend. It's good to see you.
How are you, buddy? Hey, good to see you. Good to see you.
I won't be able to stand it. Good to see you.
Yeah, listen, this is going to be a great call tonight. It's a call that is much needed, especially in this time with some of the things that are happening in our industry, that we want to provide some clarity to every one of our members, also any guests, anybody that may be affected by some of these changes that are happening out there, and how we may be able to assist them with remedying those challenges. So I'm glad we put this together tonight. I'm going to kind of be winging it, but to do this, I'm going to bring up my co-host, and Gerald, I may pull you back up here in a little bit. I don't know. Okay. But thank you so much for the introduction. I appreciate you. I appreciate you welcoming everybody. And I want to bring up, there he is, Mr. Indamo Tolson, our president of Field and Leadership Development. So how are you, buddy?
I'm doing outstanding, Brian. How are you?
If I was any better, there need to be two of me.
Right.
And I don't think my wife could stand that right now. So, okay. But listen, I'm excited, Dom. This is, anytime you're talking about compliance, sometimes it's kind of boring and dull, and it's like, yada yada. Nobody really wants to hear all that stuff. But there's some things happening right now in our industry, some challenges that have been created for some companies out there, that are dealing with some legal issues and stuff like that. And we just wanted to provide some clarity. Dom, you and I have talked about this quite a bit, what we needed to do tonight to let our field force know where we stand, what we've done to make sure MWR Financial is a compliant company all the way around. We're going to be focusing specifically on our credit restoration portion tonight, the MWR credit restoration piece, and why we're compliant, how we've complied, and then also talking about some of the things that have happened that we don't ever want to see happen here. Okay. And so we're going to talk about how to remedy that, how to market our program, and everything, how to do things in compliance, and to make sure that we protect this opportunity for everyone involved. But I will start by saying the current events, the things that are happening, many of you have reached out to us at corporate. Many of you have reached out to Indamo and myself. We've spoken to several leaders from other companies that have been affected by this. Oh, and I'm not, was that you, Dom?
That was me. Sorry.
That's okay. Quit playing around. No, I'm just kidding. But we've been talking to a lot of leaders that were affected by this and other companies. And like I said, I'm not going to mention the companies, but I am going to tell you there are companies in our space, in the network marketing space, that also offer credit restoration services, or credit repair is typically what they refer to it at. We're a credit restoration company. They refer to it as credit repair. I'm not a big fan of the word credit repair. That's not to put them down in any way. I've always used restoration because I want to be able to set expectations correctly when it comes to this type of a service. Okay. And first of all, I want to say that I feel bad for these companies that have been affected, because some of them have had suits filed against them, complaints filed against them with the Federal Trade Commission that has put them in a very awkward position, so to speak. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know whether the allegations and what the claims have been made about these companies are factual. Nobody will know any of that stuff until the trial end of it is completed. But because the Federal Trade Commission has actually stepped in and shut these companies down, whether it be temporarily or permanently, pending trial, whatever's going to happen with that, and it's caused a real challenge for people that were building those businesses. And so we've spoken to a lot of them that are heartbroken, that are, looking for a home, and that are scared about what their future looks like. And we want to kind of set the record straight tonight and let everybody know, how MWR Financial operates, what we can do to potentially assist them. This is not saying we want to just go solicit these people, because, again, we don't know what is going to happen with those lawsuits. But what we do know is this: because of the FTC's claims, these companies have had their assets frozen. They have been shut down from conducting business. They can't enroll customers or representatives with their customers or with their company. They also are unable to pay commissions to their field force, and which is the really sad part. I'm a firm believer that our legal system should, and this is not to bash our legal system, but it's just the reality of things. I believe you're innocent until proven guilty. The problem is that when actions like this are taken, that it's almost like you're guilty until you prove your innocence, and meaning that you're already suffering because of the losses created by this scenario. And so I think it's a shame that it happens that way. I think, I understand protecting the consumer. I think that is absolutely what every company should do, and do things the right way. But at the same time, I also know how that hurts the good men and women that were marketing that company that maybe had no clue that there was a compliance issue or something that the company may or may not have done that could potentially put them in this position to where they can no longer support their families with that. And so that to me is a travesty, so to speak. And so with that, I want to talk tonight about, and I'm going to look at some notes, guys. I never do this. Excuse me, Dom. I've got a little tickle in my throat, but I want to talk about, and bear with me. Oh, one thing I will tell you too, because we're not mentioning names, is that I want you to look up the allegations. You can Google this. You can check out, companies that are affected by this, the FTC's filings. Go check it out. I'm not going to mention specific names. I don't do that. But at the same time, I want you to check out what the claims are that are against these companies. Again, no one knows whether those allegations are true or false until it's over. But at the same time, I want to address those things, because I want to address them from the standpoint of how we comply with those things. All the allegations that were made that have created these challenges for these companies, what we do to not have those challenges, what we do to remain in compliance, to do things the right way. And again, when I say that, I've got to be careful. I don't want to say they've done things the wrong way, because I don't know that. Okay. But I know the effect of what's happening because of these allegations. And I want you guys to know and have your mind set at ease that we went to great lengths to make sure that we do things the right way. And those of you that have been here for a while, you already know that, just because of the systems we've set up, all the compliance language that we use, whether it's on our sites, our marketing materials, whether it's on your enrollment forms, whatever it may be. All of the compliance things, our agreements, all that's covered. But there's something that I want you to pay attention to. When you look those allegations up, I want you to listen to what I'm saying tonight. I want you to look at our systems and our processes and our contracting, our agreements when it comes to specifically MWR credit restoration, so you can see how all of those claims against these companies or specifically the larger portion of these companies, how we have addressed every single one of those things. And I'll start by saying this. My focus on compliance started a long time ago when it came to the credit restoration industry. That's where I actually started in the financial services or financial industry, was in credit restoration. I had actually built a company called QCS Inc., which also stood for Quality Credit Services, where we had 15 offices throughout the United States. And when we did that, there was this law that came out that was called the Credit Repair Organizations Act. This is the actual federal law that governs the credit restoration industry. And when that law came out, it was specifically put out to eliminate companies that were really negatively affecting consumers or making misleading claims or doing things that were really outrageous when it came to credit restoration, making false promises, charging fees in advance of performing agreed services, putting people, making guarantees that they couldn't live up to, speaking for the credit bureaus and the creditors when they can't do that, just all these different things that were happening. And so this law really eliminated a lot of the bad players in the credit restoration industry that was starting to get a bad name. It was starting to really get a bad reputation. But there were some of us that were good companies that were doing things for the right reasons. And what happened when this law came out is that there were also these predatory attorneys that were actually looking for successful credit restoration companies that they could file suits again in order to try to gain money out of that, because that law was so hard to comply with. Well, let me tell you our story. What happened is when that law came out, I actually hired a company called Greenbaum, Dole, and McDonald. This is a big national law firm. And when that law came out, I contacted them and I said, hey, there's some legalese in here. There's some things that I'm not sure about. I need you to interpret this for me. I need you to look at our processes. I need you to look at our contracting. I need you to make sure that we do everything we can to comply with this law, not to get around it, because there were a lot of smaller companies that were trying to skirt around the law instead of actually complying with it. Well, Greenbaum, Dole, and McDonald submitted about a 1.5-page booklet back to me on what needed to be done in order to comply. So we adjusted our systems, we adjusted our contracting, we adjusted our processes. We did everything necessary in order to comply with that law. We made sure that we were properly licensed and registered and did all these things that we were supposed to do. Okay. And with doing that, we got hit by one of these predatory attorneys. And they didn't know that we had already hired Greenbaum, Dole, and McDonald to make sure that we were in compliance. And so what happened is they put a client in with us and then tried to accuse us of violating the Credit Repair Organizations Act, which we did not. And to make a long story short, what happened is they ended up filing a class action lawsuit against us. And when they did that, we went to court, we did our thing, and we fought it tooth and nail. And it was one of the most painful experiences that I've ever had in business. It was very costly. It was very painful. But the things that are hardest in life sometimes end up being the best things in life for you. And what happened is we ended up being one of the only companies that I know of that has ever won a class action lawsuit in federal court in regards to compliance to the Credit Repair Organizations Act. As a matter of fact, these companies that are being pursued right now by the Federal Trade Commission in the same court in the Eastern District of Michigan, federal court, okay, is where we had to contest this. And these same companies are having their scenarios heard in that exact same court, where we had a federal judge, Judge Joseph M. Hood, sign off, federal judge Joseph M. Hood, sign off as to our compliance to the CRO Act or the Credit or CROA or the Credit Repair Organizations Act. in regards to our contracting, our agreements, and our processes. This is just the bottom of that. It's a long summary, but we actually filed a summary judgment, submitted all of our proof, everything that we had, and the judge ended up ordering or giving us our motion for summary judgment, and it was granted, allowing us to be able to establish court precedents, meaning that we have a federal judge that says we do things the right way, okay? And I think that is extremely powerful. And I thought, with everything that was going on in the climate out here, we've talked about this inside our company. We talk about compliance all the time and make sure people are doing the right things. But at the same time, you need to see this, because you need to have confidence in knowing that we don't argue with our attorneys. We do what they say to do, and we do things by the book. We do it right, or we don't do it at all. And we want to maintain that, because what's happening is with so many people, so many leaders, so many, other people that are involved in these companies that are now looking for a home, we want to make sure that it continues to be done correctly here. We don't want any bad habits that they may have picked up someplace else. All right. Or anything that they were allowed to do there that maybe was out of compliance that got them in trouble. We don't want any of that stuff happening here. And we put measures in place to protect each of you just through our processes. Okay. It's like when you enroll into MWR Financial, before you ever become a member, before you ever become a financial director or a qualified financial director with a membership, we have provisions put into place. You have to agree that you understand that MWR's credit restoration program is a free benefit of your MWR membership, that what you're paying for is actually all of the other services included in the membership, not credit restoration. Now, let me explain that to you, because some people go, well, how does that make sense? Okay. Well, I'll tell you how it makes sense. Is because one of the things we did when we entered into the network marketing arena is that we, and Damo and I both, were actually involved in another company. In addition to being a representative with that company, I was also a service provider. My company, which was then Credit Tracks. So when you see QCS Inc., because of branding, now became Credit Tracks. And then Credit Tracks became what was referred to as Credit Max with MWR Financial, which is now MWR Financial Credit Restoration. Those name changes had nothing to do with actually needing to change our name. It had to do with branding of how all of our systems work now and making sure that everything matched up and it was titled properly. And so, but that's what you see as MWR credit restoration right now. And so, but when it comes to enrolling in our company, before you ever even become a member, we make it very clear that credit restoration is a free benefit. The reason that happened is because credit restoration back in the day was added to a very similar membership to what you see here at MWR Financial. A lot of pieces have been added. All the missing pieces that were with that company have been added, and we formed this company, and we've upgraded and enhanced and brought everything up to the 21st century. But when it was added to that membership, the price of that membership did not increase. So when credit restoration was added to that existing membership, the price did not increase, meaning that all existing and future members would be able to receive credit restoration as a free benefit, because the actual company absorbed the cost instead of passing it on to the customer or the end user. I think that is extremely important for you to understand, because people all the time go, well, how's it a free benefit? Well, it's because of what I just said. When it was added to an existing membership without increasing the price, it makes it free. Okay. And that is a big compliance scenario when it comes to the Credit Repair Organizations Act. You cannot charge fees in advance of performing agreed services when it comes to credit restoration or credit repair. There are tens of thousands of credit restoration companies out there right now that are charging fees in advance of performing agreed services, because they either don't know the law, they haven't hired an attorney to understand the law to comply, or they're doing it maliciously because they're small and they think they can fly under the radar in order to allow people to participate in credit restoration. Now, that doesn't mean they're doing a bad job. They may be doing great at what they do, but they can't put themselves and their clients at risk by not complying with the law. You got to do things the right way. And we have a huge responsibility with what we do, because many of you, your opportunities and your incomes are based on our ability to know how to do things correctly and comply with the laws that have been put into place to not only govern the credit restoration industry, which is a small piece of what we do, but also the network marketing industry, the direct sales industry, to make things sure that we do things in compliance, do it the correct way. Okay. And I want you guys to have the security of knowing that. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm infallible and that there is absolutely no way I could ever make a mistake. That's absolutely not true. Okay. But I can tell you this. One thing we have been very good at is documenting our willingness and desire to spend the money with legal teams, with attorneys, to comply with these laws, to where if anything ever came up with a Federal Trade Commission or an SEC or anybody else in this industry, an attorney general, we have the proof as a company to show that we have done everything possible to make sure we have done things the right way by going down the right avenue, which is seeking legal advice from professionals to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes that the smaller companies and some companies that may not have even meant to make these mistakes have already made, okay, or potentially have made, okay? So because we have a huge responsibility to protect each of you. Okay, it's that important to us. And so I wanted you to understand that. Now, in addition to our enrollment page, making it very clear we're a free benefit, if you've watched our new consultation videos, which, by the way, our Spanish videos in our back office should be available, I'm hoping tomorrow, okay, for each of those. But our English videos that are there right now, because the new system just went up here at the beginning of May, those videos, if you watch, I encourage all of you to watch our credit restoration consultation video, even if you're already in the program, okay, and you've listened to the recording before. We've now actually done a video. It's beautiful video, but it covers all the compliance. It covers everything we're responsible for. It covers everything you're responsible for through the process. It makes it very clear that you cannot participate in MWR Financial with our membership for the sole purpose of restoring your credit. You cannot. You have to understand that in order to engage in our credit restoration program, you have actually participated in the MWR membership to be able to utilize all of the other services and take advantage of the free benefit of credit restoration through our membership. Again, all compliance, all necessary. The other thing that I want you to understand is, if you haven't, and I hope you have, because you're required to agree to it, okay, is that we provide you with a copy of your rights under state and federal law. We also provide you with a service agreement that clearly outlines, okay, all of the compliance that is necessary. That's why you saw Judge Joseph M. Hood sign off as to our compliance, because our contract, even though we still want to make sure we do things the right way, supersedes anything else. Once you agree to that contract, you give us a limited power of attorney. That's not it, Martina. That's, I don't know what you're pulling up the thing for Judge Joseph M. Hood. But, I know what you were doing. My bad. Sorry about that. You were doing to show where the judge said that our agreement and all that stuff. But what I was going to tell you is that with our agreement, it lets you know we make no specific claims when it comes to the particular standard of improvement someone can receive by going through our credit restoration program. No specific claims. Now, why do I say that? Obviously, we're effective. We've got tens of thousands of testimonies that show on our MWR testimonials page, which we'll talk about in just a second. But we have tens of thousands of testimonies and results to all of our services, including credit restoration and the effectiveness of what we do as far as our processes and the results that we get. But we make no specific claims as to the particular standard of improvement any individual client can receive. The reason for that, every client is different. That's one thing. The other thing is as a company, we cannot speak for a third and fourth party. Okay, we cannot. I am not going to tell you that I can get 100% of the items deleted off of your credit file. I'm not going to tell you I can get 80% or 50% or 40%. What I am going to tell you is that we can get your credit scores back into the best shape possible, because any information contained on your credit file, our job is to help you exercise your rights, not to beat the system. Okay? That's what scammers do. Scammers try to help people beat the system. Our job is to help you exercise your rights under the laws that have been put into place to protect you as a consumer against erroneous credit reporting, which credit reports are inundated with erroneous credit reporting. As a matter of fact, the laws that we utilize to help you exercise those rights are the Fair Credit Reporting Act, as well as the Fair and Accurate Credit Transactions Act. In each of those laws, there is a provision that says any information contained on your credit file that is not 100% accurate, anything that is misleading, outdated, obsolete, or that can no longer be verified within a reasonable amount of time, which is approximately 30 working days, must promptly be corrected or deleted. Okay? Must probably be corrected or deleted. Now, our job is to question the validity, accuracy, and ownership of negative information contained on your credit file that you have authorized us through an LPOA to dispute on your behalf. Okay? We can do that legally. Dispute on your behalf what you've authorized us to dispute, that negative information. And any of that information that the bureaus are unable to verify or that are unable to prove that it is being reported accurately must be promptly corrected or deleted. Those corrections or deletions are what can potentially raise your credit score. Now, if you have no credit score and all you had was negatives on there, then we provide additional solutions as far as consulting, to where you now know that you can speak with a credit consultant in our office, and they'll make recommendations to you on how, through our credit rebuilding center, how you can establish or reestablish your credit history. Okay, whether it's a revolving account, whether it's rent reporting, whether it is an installment account, whatever is needed on your credit file, we have avenues and the best of what we believe are out there to help you do that and help you establish or reestablish your credit history, to get your credit scores, again, back into the best shape possible. Okay, so I want everybody to be clear on this, because we, especially in this climate, what's going on with these other companies, we're not concerned about a investigation or an audit or any of those things. That's fine with us. If somebody wants to come in, and whether a government regulator or a government entity, anybody that needs to do that, we're fine with that. But the other thing I will tell you is that we've taken these measures so we can be fine with this. I always say this, and I say it humorously, but and not even meaning it. It's jokingly, but I'm way too cute to be some guy named Bubba's little girlfriend in prison. Okay, and we want to do things by the book, and so we put ourselves into a position not just to protect you guys, but also to protect myself, my family, and this opportunity for everyone else. Okay, so I think that's kind of funny, but at the same time, a couple other things I need to address with you. If you're marketing our program, you do not market credit restoration specifically and then expect those clients to be able to enroll in our program and feel confident. Why? Because if all you did was solicit somebody for credit restoration, one, that's a violation of our policy. You might get a warning on it, but we will not allow that to happen. We're not going to put our opportunity and what we can do for people at risk because of one bad actor. It's not going to happen. Okay. So if we catch you, you might get a warning. You might get a warning. Okay. And I'm saying might get a warning, because if we find out that it's been repetitive or things like that, might not be a warning. And that's not a threat. That's just being real. You know, and this, we have a policy in this company that is not written, and it is be good or be gone. We don't need bad actors in this company. We need good people that want to help other good people, okay, get their lives back in order. That's what we need, okay? And so the bad actors, if you're a bad actor, leave, okay? We don't want you here. And if you are confused about something and maybe you think you've been doing something wrong, ask us, okay? We're here to support you. We want to help you. And we realize people make mistakes, all right? But when you market our program, you don't market credit restoration specifically. You just don't do it, okay? Because that puts you into a position to where you are soliciting people for credit restoration, then selling them a membership that you didn't disclose any of the other information about that membership. And therefore that consumer thinks they just purchased the membership for credit restoration, which is going to give you egg on your face. Because as soon as they listen to their consultation, which every member, every QFD, you do not enroll your members. You do not enroll your QFDs. You can walk them through the enrollment process, but they better be the ones that agree to the terms and conditions, our agreement. They better be the ones that enroll themselves for credit restoration and go through our simple process. Our system has made things so simple with this new system that we put into place for everybody, to where they need to go through and enroll and agree to those terms, agree to our agreement, see a copy of the rights under state and federal law, listen to the consultation that's provided. It'll eliminate a lot of challenges for you down the road and a lot of questions if you do it the right way. Might take an extra 5 minutes for them to do something, but at the same time, it's well worth the extra time, because you'll spend 20 or 30 minutes trying to fill in the blanks on the things you didn't do to help them walk through the process correctly. Okay. And I don't want to see you do that. Our business is built for speed, and our experts do all the work. Your job is to expose people to MWR Financial and then help them go through the process or plug in, and let our experts take over from there. Let our systems and processes take over from there. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you this. I know all of this sounds like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like credit restoration is a bad thing. Guys, credit restoration is not a bad thing. Matter of fact, that's why we have it in our program. But our approach to credit restoration is not like so many other companies out here. Okay. And there are good companies out here too. So don't think I'm talking bad about all of them, because I'm not. There are some really good companies that do good things for good people. But credit restoration, the reason we don't just offer credit restoration is because if all you focus on is credit restoration, you're just creating a Band-Aid for your members and for your own finances. You guys know we take a holistic approach when it comes to helping people get a financial makeover or improve every area of their finances. Why do we do that? Because if all you focused on was credit, you just created a Band-Aid for people. Because what you didn't do is you didn't help them address the real challenges, the real issues that caused them to have credit problems in the first place. And what will they do? They'll go out and repeat the same mistakes. See, that's the advantage of having experts with MWR Financial. You never have to make a financial mistake. You always have the right type of financial advice that you can get from real experts that don't just tell you what to do. They actually implement it for you through our tax reduction strategies, our instant pay raise, our home-based business deductions, our hurdler mileage and expense tracking, our bill negotiation experts, our debt elimination services, and credit restoration is part of our cash flow process. Why? Because our job is not to help you get your credit scores back into the best shape possible so you can go out and bury yourself in more debt. Our job is so we can get your credit scores back into the best shape possible so you can put more of the hard-earned money you've already wasted with the credit and banking industry and giving them a third or fourth of your money every single month, so you can start putting some of those interest rates, those down payments, those insurance, homeowners and car insurance premiums back in your pocket. Instead of feeding their families, you can feed your own. That's what the purpose of our program is. It's not so you can go finance some elaborate lifestyle and look like you have money when you're broke. That's not the case. Because when you go into major debt, that's what you become. You become broke. You might have money, but if you don't do the right things with it, you will end up broke. Our system, our experts, our strategies eliminate you from ever having to live a life of being broke again, period. That's why the letters in our name stand for MWR, stands for Make Wealth Real. And I like to say without the hype, because we can educate you all day long, but when you plug in and you utilize our experts, you're going to get nothing but results. And guess what? They're not going to lie to you either. They're not going to make up some fictitious number so you can save more on your taxes. They're going to do it the right way. And they're going to either save you money or they're going to direct you on what you need to do to put more money back into your pocket. I can't think of a better scenario and a more affordable solution to be able to accomplish that and be able to have the same experts as every wealthy person you know. They have a team of experts, all right? And I promise you, they don't pay $99.97 a month for credit experts and debt experts and tax experts and wealth experts and CPAs and financial advisors and certified financial planners and enrolled agents. I promise you, they don't pay $99.97 a month. Okay? We wanted to make it to where we leveled the playing field and made it to where everybody can win, not just those people that already have money. Okay? There is a big problem in our society when it comes to credit. And I will tell you, and banks and creditors are not going to like me for saying this, but the banking and credit industry preys on the lower and middle income families in this country. That's what they do. Because they paint this elaborate picture that that's how you're supposed to get the lifestyle you want. It's absolutely wrong. Credit is the gateway to debt. Debt is the pathway to poverty. As long as you are paying interest, that is money you will never save, invest, or be able to pay yourself. You will always be the borrower, and you will never be able to be the lender. We want to put you into a position to where you can be your own bank, be the lender, and never have to depend on the credit and banking system ever again. Ever. And if you think I'm kidding, look at our testimonies. It is happening for people right and left. It's making a difference to where people aren't struggling with this goofy inflation that we have created by this administration that we have. I mean, it is crazy what's happening in this country right now. We talk about 8.5% inflation when in reality, the things you buy every day, fish is up 14.5%. Eggs are up 18%. Bread, what's it up? Okay. And they paint a picture like, oh, it's only 8.5%. Well, if they were actually buying the same things you were buying at the grocery store, it'd be more like 15 to 20% is what it would be. Okay. But they paint you a picture they want you to see, that they want you to hear. We're not doing that. We're going to give you the facts. And the bad part about it is that I shouldn't even have to give you the facts because it's right in front of you. You're seeing it play out in real time. Okay. And we've got the solution, the answer to so many people's prayers out there right now that are struggling with their lives, their finances, their incomes, everything. And we have the answer to that. Okay. And that's why we're attracting so many of these people that have, so many of these leaders that have been challenged, by a company that maybe did something wrong. And it may have been a mistake. It may not have been intentional. They may not have wanted to hurt anybody. Okay. But the bottom line is that when your income stops because a company is now under investigation with the Federal Trade Commission, that hurts. That hurts a lot of people. Okay. and we want to be able to offer a solution to those people. And I'm telling you, it's not that we want to take those people from that company. It's we want to support those people and help them. All right. I know that and we've already seen it, people that have seen what we do here at MWR Financial that never knew about us, that may be involved with other companies in the past. And once they get acclimated to our culture, they see what we have to offer and stuff. Guys, they are ecstatic. I cannot believe, with the conversations I've had over the last week, because of what's happening in the industry, I cannot believe the conversations I've had where people have said, how come I have never heard of MWR Financial? It appears we are the best kept secret in network marketing, in the financial solutions industry, in the financial makeover industry. We're the best kept secret out there, because I can tell you, those leaders that hear what we have to offer, understand our compensation plan, see that we do things the right way, that we're willing to guarantee people's success without putting their money at risk. When they see that we have opportunities for them to make, save, and grow their money in a way that doesn't put their money at risk, unlike so many other opportunities that are out there that are based on speculation and hope and investment strategies that can either cause you to win or cause you to lose. Okay? You don't lose with MWR Financial. You just don't. You constantly move forward if you plug in and take advantage of what we have. Now, listen, I know I sound like, I don't know how I got off on this tangent, but, and Damo, you know how I am. If I get passionate about something, I can kind of go that direction. But at the same time, guys, I want you to know, if you want to talk about credit restoration, show people everything we have to offer. I promise you, if you go market credit restoration directly by itself, you just put yourself into a market with over 100,000 other credit restoration companies out there. You are one of 100,000. Credit restoration companies are a dime a dozen. Now, ones that do it the right way, they're not. Okay? But our focus is not on helping people build their credit so they can finance a lifestyle. Our focus is on helping them live a legacy while being able to leave a legacy at the same time, and them to be able to understand exactly what it takes with expert guidance and implementation to make it happen. Okay? And an opportunity that is absolutely second to none, with up to an 80% payout and over a 62.4% annual retention rate with our members. Why does that happen? It's because our business puts more money, and membership puts more money in people's pockets every month than what it costs them to participate in our business and our membership. Why would you leave a program that's benefiting you more every month than what it's costing you? You wouldn't, or you shouldn't. That doesn't make sense to me. Okay. So with that, Dom, did I miss anything? Because I know I covered a bunch of stuff that I didn't even want to cover. But
no, you covered everything, Brian. It really is important. I think when people, like when you were given what some people might perceive as a compliment, that we're the best kept secret out there, that's not a compliment.
It's not a compliment.
We got to go tell everybody. We have a lot of people that need to be out there really, beating the drum for what we do for people, because, like as you said, Brian, credit, it's been burned into the American psyche, literally burned purposely to take advantage of working class and middle class people, that they want to get on this buy now, pay later. Do you realize, Brian, and I know you know this, that there was a time in this country not so long ago, we're talking about the 60s, 70s, early 70s, where credit cards were only for the wealthy. They're the only ones that had it. And you know why when they said, wait a minute, we're not getting the interest that we thought we were going to get, because wealthy people understand, if I'm paying interest, I'm not earning it. So they're like, oh, they're just paying it off every month. So then they change the laws, put people in power that understand the money game. They change the laws to tweak it. And all of a sudden there was this explosion of credit cards all over the country. Everybody had them, and they started not easy, like just like inflation does, it creeps on you. The silent killer is inflation. All of a sudden, this silent little seducer came in and said, buy now, pay later. Buy now, pay later. You don't need to go to there was a time in this country where if you wanted something, you might put it on layaway, but you didn't get to bring it home till you paid for it. So you had no debt. Well, now it's like, okay, you can have it right now. And that changed everything, Brian. So what we're doing for people is to help them make sure we are in a worthy crusade to make wealth real for people and their families. Credit restoration, we love it, but it's not the only thing, and we understand that. And as new people who have maybe been involved with companies that are just primarily credit restoration, they'll start to see what we do for people. When you start looking at it, Brian, can you imagine I can come here, get my take-home pay increase, lower my bills, eliminate debt, find my debt-free date and a millionaire date, and get my taxes all done because I have an automated expense tracker that tracks everything for me, have my taxes done, and get the credit restoration on top of that? Oh, come on now. That's what we have. I mean, that's literally what we have. And that's what people need to understand.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I'm going to add one more thing. We talk about credit, and guys, we're fighting an enemy. Right. I mean, we're in a battle right now. That's what it is. We're the good guys against the bad guys. Okay. And I'm just going to tell you, when I look at last year was the first year we ever went over $1 trillion in credit card debt as a country. Right. $1 trillion. Break that down by family and look at the amount of money every family is in debt to a credit card company. And if you pay the minimum payment, it's going to take you forever to pay that off. Okay. But there's a war going on. There really is. And it's the war of right against wrong. And I feel like, and I believe this from the bottom of my heart, our company is trying to right the wrongs and correct the injustices that have been created by a system that is not designed for people to win. It's not. Right. Don't buy into it. I promise you, it will serve you no good if you do. Okay. We want to make a difference. And listen, I appreciate you guys getting on here and listening to me ramble, and Dom. And I know when we get going, Dom, we can talk forever, but, we've got a lot of great stuff happening, guys. This call needed to happen. This live needed to happen. And I wanted to share that with you. Be sure to share it with your teams, share it with, people that are reaching out to you so they understand what MWR Financial is all about. We're not a credit restoration company. That's a piece of what we do. And I can tell you, it's a breath of fresh air when you tell people the truth and you don't oversell what we have. You don't have to oversell what we do. If you get it in front of people, it's just common sense. It just makes sense. And it makes dollars. And Damo.
Absolutely.
Dollars and cents.
Dollars and cents. You know what, Brian? We have to do one thing. We have to thank, just in a real big thank you to Mr. Joquez Morla, because he, on just his own accord, he doesn't get paid to do this. He wanted to help the Spanish community to be able to understand what we're saying. And since neither you or I can speak a lick of Spanish, he's doing that. And so we want to thank him for being willing to help the Spanish community understand what was being said today. So, Mr. Morla, thank you, or gracias, gracias, gracias. All I can say is boom, 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 libertad.
Hey, Dom, real quick, he doesn't think he's getting paid, and I know he wouldn't expect it. I'm just getting ready to add $100 into his commission account for the last 50 minutes here that he's helped us do this. Because if he could translate as fast as I was talking, $100 an hour is cheap, So I was listening to him. I was amazed that he was doing those things, but I was listening to him. So he's an amazing guy. He's an amazing guy. Thank you so much, and Dom. Thank you for being on here. Gerald, I appreciate you again for doing intros. Martina for being behind the scenes there, keeping everybody on track and pulling everything up. But guys, listen, let's go out there and get this message out there to people. This company, we can make such a huge difference. And there has never been, not in my lifetime, You got to think we're experiencing a 40-year high in inflation. I believe it's higher than that, but a 40-year high in inflation. I'm only 52 years old. Okay. So I've never experienced this other than back when Carter was in, I guess. But, and I didn't really experience it. My parents did, I guess, you know, but at the same time, we're in a position to do something to really provide the solution to people. It's almost an injustice if you're not sharing it with the people you care about the most. I can tell you that. All right. So with that, have a great night, guys. Love you all. I appreciate all the kind words and comments you guys have given on here and the things you do to support us. Just know we're here for you too. And let's go have a great rest of the week. See you guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye-bye. Thanks, Tom.
All right. Thank you.
So, you want to own your own home, but you're one of the over 80% of Americans with less than perfect credit. You don't have enough money saved for a down payment, and or your debt to income ratios are so high that the only person who will lend you money is your mother, and she still wants a cosigner. I know that sounds funny, but these are just a few of the reasons why tens of millions of Americans are still renting instead of owning their own home. And the worst part is, most of them have convinced themselves they will never be able to own a home, or they're waiting on a miracle instead of doing anything about it. So, why should you do whatever it takes to own your own home? Well, I'm glad you asked, because here's the facts. According to a 2021 report provided by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, the average homeowner in the U.S. has a net worth of approximately $200,000, while the average renter only has a net worth of around $5,000. This statistic alone should have you wanting to buy a house immediately, so you can start building equity for yourself instead of your landlord. Think about it. Every rent payment you make pays for a house or building owned by someone else. They get to benefit from the cash flow, equity, and tax deductions. And what do you get? Exactly. You get a roof over your head for another month and nothing else to show for it. This is why MWR Financial created our cash flow system, combined with our Keys to Home Ownership program. Imagine having everything you need to increase your cash flow and income, so you can increase your buying power and save the money you need for a down payment. Or, how about having a team of financial experts who will get your credit scores back into the best shape possible, while lowering your existing bills and your debt-to-income ratios, all at the same time? Sounds amazing, right? Well, it is, but that's not all, because our team of affordable housing experts will even help you locate and purchase your new home for you now, regardless of your past credit history or your current credit scores. Yeah, you heard me right. Our experts will help you determine how much of a home you can qualify for. They will assist you with locating the home that meets your needs, buy it for you, and allow you to rent to own or lease with the option to buy, while our cash flow experts help you get your finances back into the best position possible to qualify for conventional financing. And if conventional financing ends up not being an option for you, your affordable housing expert will owner finance the property for you. In other words, we can structure the option that works best for you, and becoming a homeowner no longer has to be just a dream. It can actually become a reality. With that said, if you're tired of building equity for someone else and you're ready to own your own home, get back to the person that shared this information with you, and let us help you get on the right path towards home ownership once and for all.